Alrighty, howdy everybody. We are doing a walking video. We're now switching to real estate and motivational content, which is why we were walking and talking in selfie mode. But memes aside, I am walking to the San Juan train station to catch a train to LAX and then fly to Austin for a men's sexual mastery one-day workshop. 5 hours tomorrow, and then in the evening I'm gonna go to a float tank session and contrast therapy and do a whole bunch of spiritual shit. So really excited about that. It'll be a first for me. I've been working with a guy named Ben Timby, and he's an awesome dude, and I hired him as a coach. And yeah, just excited to connect with Ben and experience whatever the workshop is going to be, and do contrast therapy in a float tank for the first time. But that's not why I'm talking, or that's not what I wanted to share. What I want to share is navigating hiccups throughout the day, and how to work with the challenges and the inconveniences that life puts in front of us sometimes, and maintaining composure and trusting the process in the midst of that. Because I booked a train ticket out of San Clemente, or so I thought, and so I was excited because I was going to go down there and see the ocean, and I was going to park in a neighborhood to avoid paying an extra $36 for parking. And having parked in my van multiple days at a time in different spots, I know that that's very possible if you find the right location. So I parked like 2 miles away, and I was late, so I was jogging to the train to catch it on time. And I thought for sure I wasn't gonna make it, but literally hit every green light. Definitely didn't go 90 on the freeway, and then definitely didn't park next to a park and plan to leave my car there. All to find out that train station was closed. So there was no trains going there, and it had been closed for a while, and they were doing train track work. So there was no trains coming through, and so I had to call Amtrak and get it scheduled for the next one. Thankfully there was enough cushioning to where I wasn't too pressed for time in catching the next train. But so anyways, I ended up scheduling it and literally was on the phone with Amtrak. And I'm gonna sit down for a second. And they have a cancellation fee. It was only like $24 for the ticket, but the cancellation has to be done before the train is scheduled to leave. So I call them, and it's 4 minutes before the train was scheduled to leave. Made it there on time, and the lady that I talked to just rescheduled it for the San Juan station at the next time. But literally the point at which we talked about refunds and switching the ticket over was the exact minute that the train was scheduled to leave. So that was cool. And then the train that she said that she booked me for, which is the next one here in San Juan, was train number 777. So I'm sounding more and more like a spiritual numerology and tarot reading guy, but I just find that so fun. And even in the Bible and stuff, like, it talks about 777 being a holy and sacred number. 7 is God's number. Jesus uses that in a lot of his parables and stuff. And yeah, it's just like a really good omen. So regardless of whether or not that's true, it was fun to the fact that she even told me the train number. I was like, I don't know, it surprised me. I'm like, I don't need to know that necessarily. I'm sure it'll be in the email you send. So anyways, that was fun. And yeah, and I got back to my car. I walked back to my car, and I was all sweaty and everything. It's like jogging with my heavy backpack on, my carry-on, and got back to the car, and I put this little wooden turtle that had been carved out of like koa wood from Hawaii, from a family trip. One of the last trips my whole family went on with my dad, and my dad really liked this turtle. And to me, I've seen a lot of turtles and a lot of hares, a lot of rabbits lately, next to each other or in conjunction with each other. And to me, it symbolized like the polarity of like moving quickly and moving slowly, and like the parable of Aesop's fables or whatever, where there's the tortoise and the hare, and the tortoise, I think, wins the race because he was slow and steady wins the race, right? And so I raced all the way to this train station in San Clemente, hit every green light, ran to the station only to find out that the station was closed. And honestly, it was so fun because I got to see the ocean. I got to run on the trail by San Clemente. It just felt like this fun, whimsical, unusual way of, spending my day getting to the airport so that I can, way later this evening be in Austin. And it all fell through. And it ended up just being an experience for an experience's sake. And so I hop in my car, get some food, and drive up here to San Juan. And it's so beautiful here. I love this town. But I looked up parking beforehand to see where there might be free parking here. And sure enough, about 1.5 miles, 2 miles away, there's free parking next to, well, I won't say where. I won't spoil it for those who want to do it in the future. But I have to park literally outside this like private property, and it's questionable whether the spot I was in was private property or public property, because it was right over a storm drain on like a metal plate. And I end up seeing a phone number for the property manager. So I call the property manager, and he essentially picks up the phone right away, and then he's like, hello. And then I was like, hey, is this, for the property at this location? I just had a quick question. He's like, yeah, what's up? And I asked him, I'm parked over a storm drain on a metal plate right outside your gate. Is this an okay spot to park for, 2.5 days? And he was like, yeah. Or no, he didn't say yeah right away. He was like, well, let me think about that. Like, can you step outside your vehicle? And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, can you check inside the trash can to see if it's full? And I was like, sure. And so I walk over, and he told me that it was all on camera and everything, and that he could see me and stuff. And I was like, yeah, sure. And so I walk over, and I'm like, yeah, it's about halfway full. And he's like, okay, well, how about this? If you take the trash out, I'll let you park there for 2.5 days. I was like, you got a deal, James. And so, yeah, that was just a fun little human interaction that I would have never had, had this whole escapade never played out the way that it did. But I just love that. And I love, just all the different connections and humanness and misgivings and, extra time that it took and is still taking. So I'm here with his trash bag, taking his trash out, and I'm walking to wherever I can find the next dumpster that looks, viable to drop it in. So it's heavy. My backpack is heavy. The water bottle is a water bottle, and we're just doing it. And we now have time to make this video, which I wanted to be consistent and do 3 days in a row, and I didn't know if I'd have time. I didn't want to do it on the train, didn't want to do it at the airport. So now I have enough leeway time between now and getting on the train to make this video. So it all works out. And and it's actually more fun to go the exotic route, or go the way that I could have Ubered up to LAX, but it's like $88 for the cheapest one. So it's like, forget that. That's like buying another plane ticket round trip, not to mention Ubering in Austin and stuff. So yeah, that is my story for the day. So I hope it's encouragement to anyone who feels like they get duped, like they did all the right preparations only to find out that their best efforts weren't enough. Like for me, I thought I booked it out of San Clemente. I swear I clicked San Clemente on like the drop down booking menu, but yeah, regardless. Oh yeah, the lady said it was actually booked out of San Juan the whole time, so whatever. But anyways, even if your best efforts fail you, there might be a reason for that, and it might be frustrating, it might be annoying, it might cost you some extra time, but don't miss the blessings along the way, and don't miss the fun, adventurous part of all that. And just know that even if things seem slower than what you're hoping for or expecting, or less convenient or less smooth, that it's probably preparing you to take someone else's trash out and to laugh a little bit. And just don't ever forget to enjoy the journey of it all, and it might end up panning out in a way that is better than you could have planned it or expected it. So that's what I got. I'm probably gonna like fall into a drainage ditch and regret saying all this motivational, inspirational shit, but that's my message for today. And time to go find a trash can. All right, have a great day, everyone.